We head to another round of racing for the Coffee Cup OGRL League Season 5, round number 6 from Bathurst. My name is Tristan Herbst, joined in the commentary box and the production box by Jim Cunningham. Ewan O'Leary is not with us this week around, but he will be back hopefully in the next coming weeks. But like I mentioned, we're here at the Down Under in Australia at Mount Panorama, one of the best circuits, in my personal opinion, for GT3 racing, and we get to see it here for a full 1 hour long stint. I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic race here today. It proves very technical, especially up the mountain sector, especially there towards Skyline. And the drivers are going to have to be very cautious as to how they approach. But as I mentioned, welcome in, and I think it's going to be a great day of racing. Jim, what's the thoughts on today?
Yeah, man, it's good to be here with you. Really excited for Bathurst. You and I were talking before we went on the air. Definitely one of mine and your favorite tracks of all time. I love driving this place. It's just a lot of fun. It can be tough for racing, though. I mean, that mountain section is technical and it's difficult, especially it takes a lot of skill to make a pass on the mountain in these big GT3 cars. But yeah, I think it's going to be great overall. It should produce some exciting action for sure.
Yeah, the mountain does tend to prove its flames, especially why the turn number 1 is called Hell's Corner. It is one of those more scarier tracks, especially if you're newer to the GT3 class of racing. I don't think Mount Panorama is the best race to start your career off in the GT3 class, or even iRacing in general. I mean, you can throw yourself into that pit if you really want to, but you're going to see from tonight, if you've never seen racing at Mount Panorama, well, you're in for a real treat in terms of driver control, driver patience, and consistency, which is a very, very key element here at Mount Panorama. We'll take you through a track map in the intermission between qualifying and the race, and you'll get a nice preview. We'll talk about a couple of the sections where the drivers have to be very cautious, especially with the huge amount of gradient change at this track. I think the elevation difference is well over 300 meters here, and the drivers do seriously have to watch out for the ever-changing grip standings. But we are just heading into our qualifying now. 7 minutes has already gone by. We've already got some times up on the left-hand side, which will pop up shortly. And Brian Faluna currently sits on that pole position with a 2 minutes and 1.3. And that is a great time currently around Bathurst. Unfortunately, no one breaking that 150, that 2-minute sub-zero just of yet. But let's go through our points quickly before we dive straight into qualifying. You'll see it up on your screen shortly. This is our pro driver standings. Miriam will sit up in front, 249 points. From Gearing in second. Van Roy sits in third, followed by Cook and Bradley Tidwell in fifth position. Cheney sits in sixth position. Brian Faluna, who currently sits on pole, down in seventh. Robert in eighth position, with Smalley in ninth, and Fack will be taking 10th. Sebastian Fack rounding off that top 10. You can see the rest of the drivers for 11th down to 23rd for the pro driver standings. I'm not going to go through them in too much detail, as it's slightly more important towards the top side. Pro-Am, it is Price who will take it. Quinton Price, who sits up in the top. 2 points difference, though, from Bailey in second, so that might be a close one coming today's race. A little bit further down, Williams is also 4 points behind Bailey, and a little bit further down in fourth position, Pasta and Olinger, fourth and fifth position for them, respectively. 4 points that differentiate them as well. Bonte, a little bit further down, Bont in sixth position, and Dukowski will round off top 7. Hanaut down in eighth position, and Hansen in ninth. Lewalski, 10th position, and that is your total for top 10. Again, you can see all the rest of the drivers from 10th down to 20th. And then we'll move on to our final class, or I believe that is our final. No, there's our final class, the AMS, and it is indeed Curtis Matthews, who we saw have a dominating race last week at Circuit de la South in first position with 174 points. JT Sawyer a little bit further behind him in second with 156 points. Jay Gardner in third position. Williams will be taking fourth. Ryan Hoskins in fifth position, with Rosalie in sixth. Reese will take seventh position. He's got 123 points to his name. John Schneebel down in eighth position. He currently sits with 118 points. And then Joel Sobens in ninth, followed by Bogan in 10th position, rounding off that top 10. And there you can again see the rest of the drivers in the AM category. Unfortunately, Orega and Ullman, 2 drivers who have not gotten any points on the board so far in this season. And we're already at round number 7, so it's not looking too great for them. But that is officially your point standings done and dusted. We can finally head into our qualifying.
Let's go over the schedule real quick. Yeah, let's talk about the schedule real quick before we jump in.
Yeah, so the schedule, as we can see, is we're currently sitting, if you look on the bottom side of this image, Le Mans was last week, the 90-minute race, the first of the 90 minutes here for OGRL. And then we've got Bathurst, which we're currently watching live. I believe it's 8 a.m. around about for the Americans. So a nice early morning race for all of them. Road Atlanta is next up on the track on the 22nd of February. Then the 1st of March, we've got the Red Bull Ring, which is also a fantastic circuit for some GT3 racing. Monza will come to you live 8th of March, followed by Suzuka. And then our final, our finale race, also a 90-minute, is our Nürburgring combined. That is a combination of the Nordschleife and the Nürburgring GP circuit, which is obviously the F1 cars driving a couple years back. So that's going to be the big old combined circuit. 90 minutes of racing there. Might just be also one of the more interesting races here in the season.
I can't wait.
Just a reminder, the drivers are limited to 60% fuel in that 55-minute race. So, and one pit stop mandatory. So there is going to be a little bit of element here in terms of pit stop strategy, like we've already seen. And that is indeed your track and dates. We've also got the week structure for Old Guy Racing League, which will come up to you next. And as we can see, it's not just the Coffee Cup League that you're seeing here on Sundays. There's a lot more going on for the Old Guy Racing League. So make sure you get involved. Discord.gg/OGRL or Linktree/Old Guy Racing League. Mondays is the Rookie Like Road Course. It's everything to do with the free tier of iRacing. So all your free cars and free tracks. Tuesday is the ARCA Championship. And that's also a great league to get involved in. Hometown Short Track on Wednesdays, slightly shorter tracks in the mini stocks, the street stocks. Late models and the legend cars. Thursday is your Thursday Thunder Trucks with the NASCAR trucks. So if you're looking for something a little bit different to the GT3s and the normal sports cars, head on to the Thursday Thunder Trucks. And then obviously Sunday is your GT3 Coffee Cup. And that's happening here live on Sunday and still recurring for a couple more weeks to come. But as mentioned before, if you're wanting to get involved in the action, Old Guy Racing League, discord.gg/OGRL.
Yeah, great league, man. This was my first league that I joined when I joined iRacing, and I was a competitor here for a long time, and then got into broadcasting, and then finally started broadcasting this league. It took them a while to trust me. No, I'm kidding. All right, yeah, let's get some qualifying up there and see how that's going so far. Let me pull the old tower up for us here. Good. There's not many guys left on track. Not many guys left on track. Our typical Bradley Loving's going out last. That's what he does. So we'll throw this up there and see how these guys are doing.
Yeah, so qualifying, about 3 or so minutes left on the clock that the drivers have been allocated, but most of the drivers, and as you can see down the downhill, a little bit of squirmish back end there for the Audi R8. So got to watch out there, not tapping the walls, but only 2 drivers technically out on circuit right now. It is Ryan Merriam. He's trying to get a better time, and he's actually going to come across the line very shortly as he will try and better his time and jump up towards the top. He is currently the championship leader, and there he comes through the final chicane now and heading towards that final corner, Murray's corner, up towards pit straight. And will this be a better time for the championship leader? Only time's going to tell. Coming across that final corner now and coming towards the checkered flag. Will Merriam take the jump up towards Faluna? Will he break the 201s? Across the checkered flag he goes, and unfortunately not. I did see a slight improvement on the time there, but not enough to get up into that top 5, unfortunately.
Wow. That's surprising to see him down in 6th place finishing his laps. That's a bit surprising. I would have thought he'd have been up there in the top 2 or 3. I see we've got Michael Dion back. Brad. Well, he's gonna have to put the lawnmower livery back on that thing if he's gonna keep cutting grass like that. He literally had so many off tracks earlier in the season. I don't know if you were around for that, but he at the Virginia International Raceway race, he decided to put a lawnmower livery on the car just because he had so many off tracks cutting grass. So that was pretty funny. And this is we got Preston Hathaway here. He's I think the last car on track actually. Yep.
Yeah, looks like it might be.
Yeah, he's going to get this one in, but this is going to be the last one.
Yeah, Loving's managed to get a good lap time there at least just before the lawnmower came out, 2:01.8. And that pushes him just behind Merriam. Funny enough, the championship leader just there by Brian Lovings. And Preston Hathaway will come across the checkered flag. Unfortunately, it is yellow all across the board there. And don't think it's going to be any improvement, unfortunately. 2:04.6 for the GT3 AM driver, straight into the middle of that pack. and he's actually a Pro-Am driver, I believe, in 30 seconds. So a little bit of a difficult one there for Hathaway. He's in the mix of the AM drivers, but that is officially your qualifying session done and dusted. The time is about to tick towards the 15-minute mark, and it'll officially be done and dusted. And there we go. We officially hit the 15-minute mark, and that will close off our qualifying session. But so far, it is going to be Faluna who starts on pole.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Brian started on pole for the first race of the season. You and I did that one, and
Yep.
we had the 4 leaders all end up coming together and having a crash there. It was, I think we was at Spa, if I remember correctly.
Yep, it was Spa.
I broadcast a lot of races since then. Boy, you can really see the elevation there in that overhead shot. That is amazing how the elevation changes around here. Well, speaking of elevation changes, let's take a look at the track map.
Yeah, indeed. The track map is going to be the best spot for the viewers to have a look at what we're going to be challenging at today. Bathurst Mount Panorama, a absolutely tremendous and huge circuit. As you saw the lap times, about 2 minutes or so. So scaling around the same level as Spa-Francorchamps and a couple of the other bigger circuits. But we'll go through the gradient, as there's not too much gradient shown in the track map here, as much as it really is. But turn number 1, going through Hell's Corner. It's called Hell's Corner because most drivers try to take it a couple too many cars at once, and does tend to cause a couple of issues. Onto the mountain straight, and essentially everything from here is uphill. Turn 2, the Quarry Bend, and up towards turn number 3, which is commonly referred to as drivers as the Audi Bend, just due to the constant Audi sponsorship for so many years. But that is actually turning into the cutting up towards Griff's Mount and Reed Park as they continue going up. And I'm not too sure if there we go. Apologies about that one. And
no, I paused
continuing
it.
up
I paused it just so you didn't have to rush.
Paused it.
Yeah.
Okay. I got so confused for a second. I thought I was having some form of issue. Okay. Any case, we're going up through turn 6 and turn 7. And this is now officially up on top of the mountain. This is where the drivers have to be very careful. The elevation is continuously changing through 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is coming around McPhillamy Park corner up towards turn number 10, Selman Park and McPhillamy Park. And after turn number 10 is where we head towards the inaugural turn 11, 12, and 13, the downhill dip of Skyline. And this is essentially where we will probably see most of the incidents yet today. Unfortunately, Skyline is notorious for causing those kind of incidents just due to the fact of how much gradient it drops. We then head into the Snake, or the Esses, commonly referred to in the Dipper, as it is a huge gradient loss from turn 11 to turn 15. It is a massive downhill that the car has got to control. And you can see it briefly from the track map aerial view shot we've got here. From turn 15, 16, and 17, those are the final 2 corners, rounding off the Esses section. Turn 18, Forest Elbow, also a pretty tricky left-hander that the drivers have got to watch out for, as that inside can become a little bit detrimental with the wall closing in. You do not want to run wide here, so you've got to take as much of that inside line as possible. Turn 19, not really a corner, it's a slight kink, and it doesn't even have a corner name. It's just corner 19. And all the way down the Conrad Straight, the drivers will go to the next right-hander kink, and after that, that is coming towards the Chase, which is also a corner where we might see lots and lots of overtaking positions. It all comes down to the runoff from the back straight into the chicane. If you're carrying better speed, you're going to get ahead. Through turn 21, that's the Chase, up to 22, which is also part of the Chase corner, and 23, Murray's Curve, or Murray's Corner, onto the pit straight, and that is rounding up your huge and tremendously, I would say, large square meter kilometerage of this track. I mean, it covers a lot of ground here, but boy, oh boy, is it a great track for racing GT3s.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a huge fan of this place, man. I'm a big Nordschleife fan, and I would say this arguably could be number 2 as far as my favorite tracks to drive. You know, like I said, it can make for some tough racing. I've had some bad experiences here in races, just tough luck, you know. But as far as driving, this place is just phenomenal, man. It really is. We see Bradley's back off in the grass again. I'm telling you, he's got to bring that lawnmower livery back.
He's being pulled back to where he belongs. It seems it's that Audi wants to sit and it doesn't want to move elsewhere.
Well, to be fair, yeah. He actually we were talking yesterday by message, and he said that the reason he's running this Audi this season is because he feels like eventually they're going to weed it out, and we know that's your favorite car. Anybody that knows you
absolutely
knows what an Audi fan you are. He wanted to kind of give the car a final send-off in case they do completely eliminate it off the server, but he was telling me that it is a beast to drive right now, and he's really had to take some time to get used to the car, and he's not on his quite on his normal pace, but he's enjoying driving the car and the challenges that goes into it. He said that's a little off track there. He said he's really had to work hard on putting a setup in the car. Otherwise it's just almost undrivable. So, which could be its own level of kind of fun challenge.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's a pity that the Audi doesn't get as much love, and I don't think it gets the fixtures it needs, because it indeed seems to be a difficult car to drive, and unfortunately, it's been one of those cars across multiple sim platforms. It was like that in ACC as well. But to give background, the reason why there's so much love to it is I've got a good old vintage 2004 A4 sitting in the garage. I mean, to put that into perspective, that car is older than me, and it still runs to this day, which is
it's not older than me. I can promise you that.
It's just a beautiful thing in general, and I don't know, I've loved the four rings ever since. But in any case, so moving on from the four rings, we're moving on to the mountain of hell. Green hell is commonly referred to for Nürburgring. This is another mountain that is quite scary. But here we go, starting grid. Brian Faluna will be starting up front, with Michael Dion taking a nice sip of water in second position. Just behind them, onto row number 2, we will move on. And just behind them sitting is Mr. Damien Horverton in third. He also had a great running last week. Tim Probert sits in fourth in his McLaren Ascendant. P5 comes Jeremy Cheney in P5, followed by Ryan Merriam, our championship leader, not having the best of qualifying here today. Seventh position down, Bradley Lovings. We just saw him parked up on the grass. He actually got a good lap in that retiring Audi R8. P8 is Cody Bont in that, what's it called again? The Rexy mix-up livery of the Porsche in P8. And P9 onwards, we will see the rest of the drivers coming up. It is indeed Bradley Tidwell in his Lamborghini Huracan. I believe the only Huracan so far on grid that we'll see. Actually, I see one more coming up. And then we have Sebastian Fack in P10, followed by Fack. We have to move on here as the cars are going on. It's Aaron Gearing, P11, followed by Stephen Smalley in P12. Followed by those two drivers, we've got 13th of Jonathan Williams and Dustin Dos Weiss in 14th position in his green BMW M4. Quinton Price takes P15, currently the leader of the Pro-Am Championship. Alan Purser in P16. Alexandra Claudio, P17 for him, and Hayden Young in P18. Following them, P19 onwards, is Brent Cook by Rahul Pasta in 20th position. 21st is then going on to Jill Sowens and Ken Cloden in 22nd position. Following them, 23rd position on with Heath Erlinger, followed by Julian Reese. And there we see the pace car already coming into the pit lane. We're on the start-finish line. JT Sawyer and Pernell Hanold will start 25th, 26th. It's green lights already, though, as we see fast in the background. And that was not a lot of time to go through the running order. Apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. But we are already off, and Brian Faluna is pulling off in the green Rexy car, right up ahead of the likes of Michael Dion, who's trying to keep up now with the other driver. The safety car has gone into the pit lane. It's been flashing up at the bottom like he's a driver, but he's not. And Brian Faluna, good start from him to keep ahead. There's another Rexy in the background there that I believe was one of the other Porsche drivers, but up into the mountain they will now go, maintaining the lead. And this is where it might get chaotic. We've got a huge number of cars on this grid, about 42 cars rounding up Bathurst. This is a lot of cars to push up the mountain at once. And so we do need to be cautious about incidents here. But so far, it looked like a good start to the race.
Yeah, it looks like Kenneth Culloden might have had a little incident. We'll go back and see and take a look at that in a few minutes here, once we get this thing settled out a little bit.
Yeah, through the mountain that they still come up. I do see Kenneth Culloden a little bit back there. He's the green dot towards the backside. Damien Horverton, he's still trying to keep on going. But he has Brian Faluna now towards Skyline. He has the downhill right dipper. And if you do not get the braking and the turning right here, you will lose the car. It's unfortunately physics, like I was saying to Jim. If you do try and brake and just swing the car in, unfortunately that rear end is going to want to become a front end. It's going to transform. So you do need to be careful about that. But Brian Faluna has been able to lead the rest of the pack nicely as they all follow on. Dion is right on the backside, though, of that green Porsche, and he's got to watch out for it to not feel the pressure from behind. That Corvette will have the better top speed. But Brian Faluna through the mountain section is going to have a huge advantage in that Porsche. And you can see it being dominated here in this grid by a Porsche community. There are so many Porsches up and down this grid just due to that mountain section being so overpowered. And yes, Sebastian Fack alongside Lovings, and he's almost going alongside the Lamborghini as well. Indeed, he is. Tidwell is feeling the pressure from the number 42, but he's been forced on the outside. In fact, will lose both of those positions. Off the grass he goes. Whoa. And another driver also off the grass. That's Claudio, I believe, or Williams, who's come off the grass as well. So a little bit eventful there coming towards Murray's Corner.
Yeah, that was not a bad first lap overall, considering when you jam this many cars into that mountain section. They did pretty well through there. We got some active overtaking back here. Let's see.
Yeah, it seems like everybody is hungry. Hayden Young getting forced out slightly wide, unfortunately, there.
Yeah, it was Claudio going through there, and Raul Pasta is he's off his different livery today. I don't know. I feel like Trading Paints might not have loaded. He usually runs that Italian flag looking livery. I'll have to reset and see.
Although his team name. Oh, that's not Bradley Lovings. That's everyone, unfortunately. Bradley Lovings is involved in a massive accident there. The tree's giving us a little bit of a blockage there, but there is a lot of cars off coming up into the mountain, and I think all of them have returned to the pit lane there. That is involvement with, I think, 3 or 4 other cars over there. I was going to say Raul Pasta is rocking a livery called Canada, and his colors are Canadian, so I wonder if he's just changed up overall. But he has a bit of a brief view. Fortunately, the cameras are covered by all the vegetation. Bit of a bump there between the Porsches. Lovings gets collected. Oh, and the rest of them just having to nurse it on. So that's 3 cars involved coming up towards the mountain straight end and towards Audi corner. Very unfortunate for those cars.
Yeah, let's see if we can get another look at this. Not from an in-car.
Oh.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a typical Bathurst kind of wreck, though, to be honest with you.
100%. It's a good old 2 cars wanting to squeeze into a spot that's only catered for one, and unfortunately, those Porsches have experienced it here today. Brian Faluna has been able to maintain that lead, though. Himself and Dion have pulled 1.2 seconds now on Horvath, and so they're starting to find a little bit of comfort here, but Horvath, a little bit further behind, is feeling it from Probert. It's almost 3 wide now coming in towards Chase, and you can see that Heath Olinger is having to go defensive here against a couple of the other cars all over him, and the Porsche up in front, the number 3, is looking a little bit loose on his brakes as they all come tumbling down. This is Heath Olinger still down in 20th position. That's Sowens up in front of him that he's trying to make his way around, and he's obviously got Hanault and Sawyer a little bit further behind him, but now coming towards the pit straight. It is all still single file racing here. Heath Olinger still holding that 20th position, looking to make a dive, but unfortunately stays in that train a little bit further up in front, though. Horvath is fighting very, very hard with Probert, and we did see Probert have a promising race last week. He had a poor pit stop strategy that I think ruined it, so let's hope that doesn't happen again this week for Probert, and that he can stay in the slip and possibly get himself a top 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I think pit strategy in GT3 racing and these sprint type events, these hour type events, is a bit underestimated. But last week, that hour and a half race definitely threw some people a curve with the pit strategy for sure. By the way, that race was fantastic. That's a nice pass right there. Racing was fantastic last week at Le Mans. What an enjoyable race that was.
Yeah, I think we'll say it, and we'll say it again when we go to Nürburgring, but the longer stint times and the longer duration races have just always suited the endurance classes. You know, the GT3s, the LMPs. It is just always better racing when you give them more time to perform their magic. And pit stop strategies, like you say, are very, very underestimated. It's not like Formula One, where it is a textbook pit stop, and all that matters is your entrance into the pit lane and obviously your stop time. But a lot of other features come in towards endurance racing, because tires, fuel, and driver stops are all different kind of variables and functionalities that come into the play when it comes to pit stops. So an hour and a half race, over an hour race, that half an hour really did play with strategy. And my goodness, that sun is violent. That is a very violent sun coming into the pit stop straight. And if you're trying to go for an overtake, well, the sun is going to disturb you there a bit. Michael Dion is trying to approach on the backside of Faluna, but if that sun's going to continue to bother him, we might see an unfortunate incident going onto the pit straight. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but 0.3 of a gap is still being maintained between the top 2.
Yeah, and Ryan Merriam's got some company back here, it looks like, with he's passing Cheney. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like he's finally getting himself up towards the top here. So Ryan Merriam moves up into 5th. He gets past Cheney, so a little bit better there for the championship leader currently. In the top 5, he will go onto the backside of Probert, but he's got a lot to work for here still in this race. Into the Audi corner they will go, and he follows neatly. Alan Purser all over the backside now of Claudio up in front, and Young is a little bit further behind him.
Well, that turn there is brutal with camera angles. It seems like almost all of them are blocked off by the trees.
Yeah, I was saying it's a vegetation-filled track. It is Australia after all. It's a very countrified area here. We are seeing lots and lots of vegetation. I mean, I enjoy vegetation-style racing. You know, it makes it feel a lot more natural. No, Nordschleife has got it as well. Loads of trees all over the track, and obviously not on the track, near the track, and on the outsides of the track. But I do prefer it. I can't lie to you. I do prefer it over the tracks like Saudi Arabia and stuff, where it's all just
Oh yeah,
concrete jungles
no,
and
I agree.
and buildings. I feel the earthliness around it kind of brings a better style of the racing. And still on board, yeah, Heath Erlinger down that downhill, and you could see it on the camera angle just how bad the variance is in terms of gradient here. Even the downhill coming towards Chase, you have to watch out for what your car is going to do.
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna take a quick look here. It looks like we had Robert Sackett might have had an incident here. Hang on to it. Hang on. Yeah, he didn't look like he hit too hard, relatively speaking. He's definitely got some damage there on the rear, but didn't seem like he picked up a meatball or anything. So he might be okay.
That's good. At least Sebastian Fack telling us in the live grandstand that he got wrecked like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not too sure if he was involved in that. I think that was the three-way Porsche
Yes.
fight. Unfortunately, Sebastian Fack was involved in it. Someone else letting us know that Bradley had PC issues. He was holding about 27 frames during that accident, and he basically couldn't see the other driver, unfortunately. So, that would be all the reason for a poor result like that. Well, he had a great qualifying, but unfortunately, in an incident's sake, 27 FPS is not going to help you when it comes to trying to navigate a car that's gone loose. I cannot lie to you. I've been there before when you get capped with a low FPS. It's manageable in a game like Counter-Strike or something where you've got a lot more control, but this is this is real racing. So if you get those frame stutters, that car is still going forwards, and you've still got to control it at those microseconds of control. So that frame stutter can definitely prove a bit challenging, as we see Dion on the backside of that green Porsche, and he's getting so close in this downhill braking. You can see the Porsche slightly extending now with that faster rotation on the corners, but on the back straight, Dion could possibly catch here, coming into that final elbow. Onto the back straight now they will go. Will Michael Dion have the better slipstream here? He is close enough. You can see it's dropping ever so slightly on that live timings board, but it is about a millisecond a second, which is not enough. And now he's actually losing to Faluna. So I don't know what setup Faluna's got, but he's got a lot of speed in that Porsche.
He must be running a really low wing or something. Maybe he just got a better run off the mountain. If you don't get off that last turn well, it really kind of hampers you all down that straight. But these two, I think, are going to be at it all day here.
Definitely so.
I was looking to see where Merriam's at. He's not really. I mean, he moved up that one spot, but he's, Oh, look at Michael.
Yeah, and he's gonna. Oh, here comes Michael Dion on the outside line. We were just talking about it, and him not being able to catch the Porsche, but he seems to have gotten a better exit out of Murray's, and now on the backside up towards the mountain straight. But Merriam is going to have a tough time getting past Probert. Remember that Probert is still one of the faster drivers here, and he's got great defense as well. So Merriam's not going to just be able to swiftly get by, although he is alongside almost now, about 900ths of a second behind. As you can see them glued to each other as they come up towards the end corner of the mountain straight, and up the mountain they will go. He has been decided to stay behind, but let's see what he can do from there on Nord Racing team. Cheney trying to stay with him, and Bonte, the leader of the Pro-Ams, is also doing phenomenally well. I mean, 7th overall. He's into the Pro Pack, and he is managing that Porsche right now.
Yeah, Cody's turned in some really decent runs lately. Well, Brad Lovings is back in pit again, man. He is not having his best day today for sure. Yeah, Cody's turned in some solid runs lately, man. I mean, 7th overall in this race as a Pro-Am driver is really good pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely incredible pace. It's similar to what we saw with I'm trying to remember now, Curtis Matthews.
Yeah,
last week at La Sarthe. I mean, he was absolutely dominant within that Pro-Am pack. He was ahead of the Pro-Am leader. He's in an amp. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. He was dominant in the Pro-Am pack. He was ahead of the Pro-Am leader, and he's an AM class. So, I mean, he did a phenomenal job last week, and it looks like Bont is somewhat doing the same here. Obviously, he's in the Pro-Am class, but I mean, he's been pretty uncontested so far from Tidwell behind, and he's a pro driver. So I mean, Bont doing an incredible job at it so far. Dion is still right on the backside, and he is a bit further back with Jel Sowens. He's trying to get back up there with Williams and Pastor, who are now side by side, going up into Chase Corner. And what will it be for those two drivers up in front? You can see side by side now. The Porsche's got the inside, and he's managed to keep it. That Porsche's on some, and I don't know what on earth the Porsche's on here at Mount Panorama. It is on a setup of note, and you would think that it would be on a setup prioritized for cornering speeds, but clearly not. I mean, wiping a Ferrari in its tracks on the back straight.
So my thought on that is, as we go back up here towards the front and look, we got a nice battle going on right here. The thing is, it handles so well in the twisty bits that maybe they could take a little wing out of it and make it faster on the straightaway because it does handle so well through the mountain there. Oh no!
Oh,
that's Horvath and got in the wall there.
Yeah, you cursed him. You talked about Porsche handling, and he
loses
it into Audi corner.
Right.
Damien Overton loses a position there, and he loses a bit of paint, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think he's enjoying the limelight right now. And that Porsche struggling. You saw it under braking there. That back is locking up, and he's definitely damaged the camber on the left-hand side of that car. That's more than just paint. I wonder if he's holding. Yep, he's holding slightly skew here. This downhill braking is going to be very dangerous for Overton. That Porsche is not going to behave like it normally should. He's got to be very careful on how he takes this downhill, and so far he's managed it pretty well, but he's losing a lot of time up ahead. You can see it, how he's losing it in the corners here to Cheney up in front, and doing everything he can to try and stick with the pack. But, oh, man, that side damage is really not going to do it well for him.
Yeah, no, he hit the wall pretty good there, too. That's going to be tough. It looks like, I hate covering these incidents, but it looks like Abbott and... Let's see if there's more than one car, if this was two separate incidents here. This is oh my gosh.
He got hooked. Yeah, that's a hooking right up on the front nose.
You can see where the tire barrier starts there, and it kicks out, and he just, oh my gosh. That was in real life, that would have been a violent impact
massive.
Right there.
Yeah, that would have been a roll over the barriers, but that's exactly what we're talking about, the downhill through Skyline. It is very... Abbott as well, Landon Abbott, in the entrance of the downhill.
He held on to it, and then one more here, folks. This is Dickerson.
He already looks like he's got left side damage. Yeah, he does. And I think that left side damage kind of contributed a bit there for Micah, and around he will go. But, man, that Porsche is a carbon copy of what I said. Down Skyline, you have to be so careful with what that car is telling you in terms of traction. And unfortunately, for Alma there, he just couldn't understand what the Porsche was telling him, and that's the quickest way to bin it into the wall. But 15 minutes has gone through of racing. We've still got a good amount of time left on the clock. About 40 minutes left to go. Alexander Claudio is still holding on strong currently, down in 12th position. He will continue running for the BWE racing team. Remember, there is still a whole pit stop strategy that needs to come in play. The drivers can only hold 60% of fuel, and not enough to get them through a 1 hour stint. So they have to come in, usually around the half an hour mark is what we call it. And we'll see when that's going to happen, around the 30 to 25 minute mark. Chris Slane, a little bit bumpy there in that Porsche.
Look at that livery, man. You and I are both big livery fans. That thing stands out. I like it.
Yeah, that's Hulk smash right there.
Yeah. I like the I like the purple, and then he's got that kind of chrome green. Folks, as you watch races with Tristan and I, you're going to see we talk about liveries a lot because we are both big fans of liveries and what it brings to these races. We're both big proponents. In fact, we encourage leagues to have some kind of like livery award to reward this kind of stuff. By the way, I see Bradley Tidwell is in a Lambo now, and he, for the first half of the year, was driving the Mustang. So I think,
the mid-engine.
Yeah, we used to have longer seasons here, so I'm not sure exactly what the current rule is, but I think at the halfway point, which was after last week, that they can change cars without a penalty.
Seems like Tidwell took that opportunity.
Yeah,
he's changed
looks
himself
like he did, which
Lambo.
is, surprising because the Mustangs have been really, pretty quick for the most part this year so far. But we've got some Well,
Well, Jim, there's no Mustang in the top 25. I don't know if you've just noticed that, but
you're
there is
right.
no one
There's
driving a Ford Mustang. So I don't know if at the
well, to be
halfway
fair,
mark, the
there's only
kind of
3 in the whole field.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I don't know if maybe at the halfway mark, that if you're mentioning the whole car switch, maybe the drivers kind of looked at the last couple of races and decided that the Ford was just no longer going to be a strong contester. Here we've got one of the Mercs, and the only Merc in the top 25 right now, Mr. Aaron Gearing, and he currently sits second in the championship,
Which is
but
also
down in ninth
crazy
position.
because the
Yeah, I
Mercs
mean,
were dominant earlier in the year.
exactly. But the mid engines and the rear engines definitely have the advantage here at Bathurst, and
Oh,
possibly
that's
the rest
true.
of the calendar as well. I mean,
Oh,
maybe we can pull it up. I don't know if we can pull
hold
up the
on.
calendar quickly again.
Yeah, give us a second. Dion has gotten by.
Oh, Dion's gotten into P1. Yeah,
Yeah, I got to figure out where that happened at.
yeah. We'll try and have a look, and then after all the action, we'll see if we can bring the calendar up and maybe have a bit
Here
of a
we go.
squidge to see if the rest of the tracks are possibly something else in terms of the car choice. But here's the battle for P1. This is coming through the Chase chicane. Was there an error? Yes, there was. Onto the grass
Not
goes
really.
Baluna. And yeah, a little bit of an error there onto the grass. I did see the grass patching, and that was just enough to overslow that Porsche. And alongside will go
Oh,
Michael Dion. And just on the exit, I mean, what a great overtake
yeah.
over the curbs, even. And he manages to keep the speed up in that
Well,
Corvette and
Michael
moves up
Dion is
into P1.
fast. Let me just say.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, man, I tell you, when he was racing regular, he was so fast. Great pass though. All right, so real quick, we got another couple of incidents to look at real quick here. So let's see what happens.
This is the Hulk smash.
Oh
Smashes the wall.
no!
Smashes the wall again. Oh,
Oh,
good.
this is the mountain right here. This is and then
Oh,
gosh.
I think it was Miriam.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
think
Miriam?
it was Miriam that hit him. Yeah.
That's a bit of an awkward one. No one knows when to pull straight over there.
It's so hard, man.
Unfortunately.
I mean, it really is. It's so hard. All right,
it is a tricky one, and through Audi is such a hard place to have an incident because you can't really make a U-turn as of much. So
no.
He's kind of just got to wait and wait for an opportunity to make an overtake. He has a
what a
great
nice
lunge on the inside
pass.
though. Quinton Price on the inside of that Audi corner, and up he will go. It's now technically the tire power corner. There's no longer Audi branding all over it.
That was Hayden Young getting by Quentin Price. There.
Oh, I see. No, Hayden. Oh, I see. Okay, so Quinton Price is in the Porsche. Hayden Young takes him over in the Lamborghini. Apologies about that one.
That was a
7
nice
up for Hayden
pass.
Young.
That was a nice pass.
That was a great overtake by Hayden Young. And now through Skyline, he's extending that gap. So he's finding comfort, it seems, in that Lamborghini.
Yeah, there's actually a few Lambos in the field. So yeah, we'll get that schedule you asked for. Let me just make sure. All right, let me pull it up here real quick and see. So we've got Road Atlanta, Red Bull Ring. I mean, certainly Suzuka and Red Bull Ring should,
Yeah, 100%. I don't know about NURBS combined. There's a lot of straights, but there's a lot of technical corners. Monza is 100% a front engine track.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the temple of speed for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Road Atlanta, a little bit of a mix as well. So, I mean, I don't know. Hey, maybe Bathurst and Suzuka, maybe NURBS was the main reason for choosing the more mid-engine dominant cars. So
every other button. Well, I tell you, obviously Nürburgring, I am not a fan of in the Porsche, and I love the Nordschleife. So I am not a fan of driving the Porsche there, and I'll tell you why. To me, the front end feels too light there. There's so much elevation changes, and the front end just feels too light there for me in a Porsche. Mid-engine car, I like driving there. Oh, Faluna has gotten back by Dion. Man, I am missing everything.
He's made a great overtake, but I think something more important, Jim. Look who's in third position on the backside of this fight. It's Miriam, who's moved up into third. He got ahead of Probert, and he seems to have done it while we were talking. And apologies about that one. But now the top three have switched up them completely. Faluna's back up into the front. Dion's in second. And Miriam is tailing on the backs of the championship leaders, looking for some vengeance.
Probert had an off track here, look.
So this is where we briefly spectated them, I believe. This is through Chase Corner. And I think same error that Faluna made. I think off onto the grass, potentially. Maybe on the left-hand side.
Off.
Yep, off on the grass. Yeah, that was a big off. The curb kind of grabbed him there. And that was an easy overtake for Miriam to move up on the outside for the Aeronaut team. And now
Faluna,
Miriam right on the backside.
Getting back by
Faluna.
Michael.
Oh, that was involved with the back marker there, I think. As we see the
He
BMW
just
squandering in the
sent
background.
it right down
And
into
I
turn
think,
one on him.
yeah, I wonder if that, I don't know if that back marker got a little bit squirmish there with Dion, and that kind of slowed him down on the main straight. Because Faluna kind of took that with no contestation. He had the inside line, he was a bit faster, and onto the inside he will move. But oh, there comes the
Oh
big
no.
green Aston Martin
Yep.
from the back end. It is the championship leader looking for another win on the notch of his belt. And he is hungry for a battle. This is going to be, I think this is going to turn out to be a four-way fight
It
show, which is
is, yeah.
exactly what we love to see.
Probert's right
And
here. Look.
yeah, exactly. Probert's there. Unfortunately, Cheney's dropped off about 4 seconds, so he's
Horvatin's
relatively
pitting
out of this fight. And
early.
what's the time? 22 minutes in. That's a
Let's
little bit
see.
early for a pit
Maybe.
stop.
Maybe not, though. Maybe he's
Yeah,
going for the
it could
undercut.
work.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
could
he
work.
didn't
I
like
would say
where.
around the
Plus, he
28
had a
to
little.
30.
He had a wee bit of damage. Remember, he sideswiped the wall. So
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so Horvatin could have just been feeling it. I think he might have come in slightly earlier to get the damage fixed up and get going out on track again. And so we'll have to see. I really hope Horvatin doesn't have to make another pit stop for running out of fuel. That would really suck to see, because I think myself and Ewan have tried to calculate this a couple of times. It's usually around that half an hour mark, around 28 to 30 minutes, and he's a good 5 minutes early. That's an extra 2 laps you would essentially have to run here as Dion on the backside everywhere.
Ryan Merriam just
so much sparks.
Scuffed the wall there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the wall or sparks from the rear diffuser, but
it could have been.
It could have been, as they all come down the mountain now, tumbling down through the order. And as you can see, that car, I would hate to be that cameraman. Did you see that guy on the left? Imagine how scary that would be, seeing all those GT3s coming down at you like that, as Miriam still trying to find the way to get around Dion up in front.
I tell you what, man, I watched Bathurst last year, and oh man, there was some scary incidents on that mountain, man. You do have to be brave there to be a cameraman for sure. Look at this.
Yeah, you need a media pass and you need a right to your life pass. I think those are two things.
Right.
Two things you definitely need over here. But I mean, hey, it's the sacrifices you got to make to watch some great action for GT3 racing. And I mean, the V8 supercars also love driving here at Bathurst. They also prove a beautiful show over here. But the GT3s is what we've got on tonight. For Luna, to Dion, to Miriam, to Probert, who's unfortunately losing out now, 1.3 seconds behind. And this is turning into a three-way fight, unfortunately. Probert needs to pick it up. And while the three are fighting up ahead, he needs to try and find the pace to keep up with them. Otherwise, he's going to lose out. But hoping that the front will continue to fight and Probert can join in on this. It would be great if Cheney could join in, but that's a bit of a far push for Cheney. Bradley a little bit further behind as he sits in 18th behind JT Sawyer. There's no rear wing on that car, so that's probably a little bit difficult to control.
Wonder when that happened to Tidwell there.
Yeah, that's the issue with Bathurst, is that things happen when you don't see it, and it's very difficult to go find it. There he comes in. I think it might have been on this lap then, Jim, if he's coming in to serve it. I don't think that car is manageable for Tidwell. And into the pit lane he will come to get damages fixed. A couple of drivers who are not coming out of the pit lane. Nicholas Marshall in our virtual grandstand saying everything is looking and sounding good. We highly appreciate that and hope you enjoy the show. But that is Fack and Smalley, who Smalley in 42nd, who are currently sitting.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
It's so it's Claudio, Fack, and Smalley in 40th, 41st, and 2nd, who unfortunately not going around the track as the time goes on. But
I think
still lots and lots of racing to go around.
I think we're going to start seeing pit stops here because it's 30 minutes to go pretty much at this point. So, I think that we're certainly inside that pit window. I need to do a little more research for next week, and we need to kind of get an idea of what the window is at some of these tracks. We need to start. I'm going to get somebody to give me a little practice report on that, kind of give us an idea of when that window opens up for them. Because a lot of times you'll pit just to, this doesn't look good.
I see someone dropping off the order. That's Young.
I see four
Young
reds going through here. This ain't going to be good.
Here's Young coming out of the exit.
Hold on to it.
Just losing
it. Big T-bone.
That's his contact. Oh, massive T-bone there with another Porsche.
Who was that?
I think that was Quentin Price who'd managed to avoid it. But,
Quentin Price,
another Porsche. Yeah,
see,
another Porsche just didn't see the sideways Lamborghini and plants himself into the side. Jonathan Williams is indeed the man. You can see the livery matches. And around the corner he comes. Very unfortunate for him. I mean, he couldn't see anything. He comes around the corner at blistering speed and There's a yellow Lamborghini parked in the middle of the road. So very unfortunate for Jonathan. That's an entire front side of a Porsche gone. And that car is absolutely damaged.
Oh
Like, I mean,
yeah.
you can see the entire front right is lifted up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Big time unfortunate.
Oh, lots of smoke here through the Audi
Yes.
section. Wonder what that was from. He has Aaron Gearing, though. He's up in 6th. And Bont is fighting pro drivers over here, trying to climb up the lead in that Porsche. I wonder how dominating the Porsche is at this track. I mean, he is flying over
He is
here
flying.
and now putting pressure on the second position, in the standings for the Pro Championship. And on the inside line of Audi corner now, is he going to hold it?
No.
Unfortunately not, but through the mountain section up towards Skyline, this is looking very good for Bont, and Das Weiss a little bit further behind is also trying to keep up. But I mean, this man, for the keeping up with the Jones team, is absolutely flying in 7th position overall.
I believe, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think Ewan corrected me and said it's actually pronounced Das Weiss, I believe. Oh no, what happened? Michael Dion, no!
Michael Dion has dropped off. We see him down there in 6th position now.
Big
and
hit.
Again, down. Oh, that is huge. That is absolutely massive for Dion. And on the downhill, again, just not understanding the car, what the car is telling him. And just real loss of the traction over there. Dion faces himself in the wall. So Das Weiss is in 8th position, not Das Weiss. Apologies about that one, as he currently sits in 8th. He's trying to keep up with Bont, with Gearing up in front, but Faluna has been able to extend it from Merriam now. There is no more middleman of Dion. It is now up to Merriam to try and take his championship lead back here and extend it even further in terms of the championship standings.
Oh, somebody's off track back there. Who was that? That was Probert, huh? Yeah, Probert just ran off track going through, was that turn 1? It's turn 1 back there, right? Yeah.
Yep, turn 1, that's Hell's Corner.
Hell's Corner.
And
Hell's
Corner indeed.
I love those, I love the green hell for the Nordschleife, too. I love that name. Yeah,
I feel like it's a great name for turn number 1, because it kind of enters you into the mountain section, which is technically hell if you don't know what you're doing. So it's a great entrance name, I'd say, to the chaos that you're about to receive. Damien Horvaton side by side though, and this is for the battle for 13th position. This is Jay Sawyer on the inside. It's 2 different classes fighting, and Sawyer in the AM class fighting with a pro driver. And this is looking pretty strong for him. There we see the driver coming out the pit lane who lost it. And that was, I'm not too sure who that is, but that was the driver who went around on the final corner out of elbow and had the contact with Williams and Quinton. I believe that is Mr. Hayden Young coming out now. And he comes out in the middle of the pack, unfortunately lapped now after all that damage. But there we go, officially hitting that 30-minute mark. And Jim, I believe this is where we'll see most of our pit stops happening here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten, several done. Michael Dion is the highest placed car that has pitted already. When it's all said and done, I wonder if he came out in, he's kind of in a, where's he at? He's got a little space around him, so he may be able to turn some fast lap times. This could actually work out not so bad for him, in the long run. He may be all right.
Yeah, I think he had the spin at the right time. It wasn't too early on,
yeah,
and
exactly.
He's been able to come in and I mean, he also spun towards the end of the grid. So I mean towards the end of the track. So he only had a couple of corners left to find the pit entrance. So not the worst situation, like you say, for Dion. He can come in. He got the pit stop done and dusted. He got the car repaired, and now it's the chase to push up. Micah Dickinson, same corner, I think.
Oh no!
And indeed, it is the same corner. He's at the
Don't get
incident
hit
twice
again.
now.
Oh, and he did.
Oh, and he gets hit. Oh man, that is that's just
I think that was Preston.
reality of the
I
Audi
think that
corner.
was Preston Hathaway there. They got him. Yeah,
Preston Hathaway.
Golly, look at this. You can't see anything, and then you just round the corner, and then there he is, man.
There he is. Yeah.
Oh my
Big old orange and purple Mustang, completely covering the track. And
Robert Sackett.
Okay. Then that's how you take Murray's corner. It's a little bit taking too much of the sausage curb.
You and I had exactly the same reaction there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, Robert, it's not a real sausage. You can't eat it. Don't take that sausage curb too aggressively as he moves on around the track. But Ryan Merriam is not able to get up in front here. I do see the replay badge. I don't think this is a replay, though. I think we're back live here
Yeah,
as Ryan Merriam
I
is
think it might be
chasing on
stuck.
the
No, there
backside.
we
There
go.
we go.
I got it.
And there we go. Ryan Merriam. And there we see all the pit stops. We've got a couple of them coming towards the backside. And Faluna and Merriam will be coming in shortly, I believe. It depends. I think, I don't know what Merriam's going to do. I think if Faluna comes in, do we think he's going to stay in or, I mean, stay out? Or do you think we're going to see a pit stop
That's a good
following there from
question.
Merriam?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question. If I were Faluna, I mean, if I were Merriam, I'd probably come with him. You know, at this point, especially with a lap, there's a slower car up in front there. You can see that Faluna's having to mess with him.
There he comes in. Oh, and Merriam stays out.
Yeah, I don't even know that Merriam knew that he was going to pit there because it looked like he was passing that lap car, and he just dove into the pits. But the thing is, Merriam got by that lapped car really fast.
Yeah, he managed to. I don't think it affected him at all, actually.
No, and he's got free track in front of him now for a little bit. He's able to maybe crank out a good fast lap here, and use the advantage of, overcut here a little bit. There won't be any tire changing going on, so.
Yeah, I think it's all going to come down to where we see Faluna come out. If he comes out in the middle of traffic, unfortunately, I think Merriam's strategy is going to be better. He's gotten so much clean air up in front, and he's got a great opportunity for the overcut. Yeah, but where does Faluna come out? We see he's on the pit exit line now. And does he come out in the middle of chaos? I do see him exiting now. There is a lot of cars that have just rounded the first turn. And so Faluna is going to be in that pack. And indeed he is. Look at that. In a pack of a couple of other cars. But there is a couple of cars just up in front of him. He's got a bit of a breathing room here, but nowhere near as much as Merriam. And so let's hope it doesn't affect him that much. But it is the question now, undercut or overcut, and we've got it with the two provisional race leaders here, which is always a good challenge to see who's going to come out on top. They didn't follow the same strategy, and this is it makes it a whole lot more entertaining to see who's going to come out on top. Porsche in the middle of the road. Oh, that was very close. Faluna manages to avoid, and the rest follow. Yeah, we're at the point now where there's so many Porsches, we can't just uniquely identify it. There's so many of them now. As Faluna still up in 6th position. Merriam, I don't know if he's going to come in this lap. We'll have to see. He's coming towards Chase Corner here.
He's got wide open track in front of him, too. This is just in light fuel load. This is like a dream lap. And by the way, I'm sure all of you noticed, but you can see your favorite drivers when they come into the pit down there. You can see them entering and exiting the pits, and then it shows you their actual pit stop time in the box and also their total time on pit road. So it gives you an idea if they're getting on and off pit road faster than other guys or whatever. So he did not pit. So
nope, he stayed up. And he's already flashing someone who's just come out of the pit lane. He's like, no, good sir. You are not going to ruin that clean air for me. Get out the way. As there he immediately does. Looks like Merriam's got a lot of intimidation backed into that car because that was a very easy move away for that number 31. But, I mean, rightfully so. It's a car coming out of the pit lane, and it is the race leader. So.
Yeah, Aaron Gearing and Dustin Dosbase both pitted on this lap. So we're starting to see right now there's only 3 of your main protagonists here that have not pitted yet, and that's Merriam, Probert, and Cheney.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, I don't think Cheney's too much in that top battle. We did see him about 4 seconds off from the rest. So maybe the pit stop strategies can be a change for him. Like Jim mentioned, that bar at the bottom is a lot more important than you think. It's that pit stop time and the amount of time a driver spends in the pit is also a very big game changer, especially when a driver undercuts another driver in the pit lane.
And we always focus.
Yeah, go for it.
We always focus on the pit time, like the time they spent in the box. But the time on and off pit road is as, if not more, important. If you come in super slow to avoid a penalty, that adds up. It's the guy that can most efficiently, get on pit road at speed and get off pit road at speed without going in excess, obviously, is, and then, of course, there's the potential, speaking of that, John Gardner has a black flag. Did he just pit? He did.
Yeah, I think he might have just done what you said. It's the choice of safety or speed.
Ryan.
And like Jim mentions, you can either slow down earlier and completely avoid any penalties, or if you're really in that dire need to get into that pit lane as fast as possible, you you take that very minor risk and get in and break as soon as that line comes up. And unfortunately, I think that's what's just happened to that driver that Jim mentioned. But he did not get successful on the pit entrance, and that's going to be a black flag he's going to have to serve, unfortunately, as we do see Merriam now in the pit lane. The question is, where is Faluna out on track? Where will he match against Merriam? This is going to be the undercut versus overcut, the biggest thing of the century currently in this race. And here's Faluna on the chase corner. This is now coming in towards Murray, and Merriam on pit exit now. So he's just rounding out of Murray and coming onto that main straight, a little bit wobbly onto the entrance. Where's Merriam? He's probably just exiting the pit lane now, and indeed he is. An undercut worked greatly for Merriam, and huge margin ahead as well of Faluna.
4.5 seconds. Now, he's going to have to get back up to pace, so that'll probably close a little bit maybe. And his tires would have cooled slightly, but nothing too dramatic, I don't think. There you go. That's a prime example right there of a situation where the light fuel load and the clean track, has made 4.5 second difference, because they were pretty much nose to tail when Faluna pitted. So yeah, wow. That is huge.
The issue now
4 seconds is a long time on track.
Yeah, especially at Bathurst, and take into consideration that they've got back markers in between them as well. So it's going to be a long journey for Faluna, and the issue is that he's no longer keeping Merriam at bay. He now has to chase Merriam. And Merriam, currently being the championship leader, he is very much in that position to win this race. And as you can see, he's actually extending that gap now, 4.8 seconds, and he's just going to be doing that the rest of this race, just trying to pull away and take the win as easily as possible. And I think he's got it in his grasp over here, but it is Bathurst, and anything can happen. Bogan gets a black flag penalty, another driver with the penalty to their name, unfortunately. And Jim, we've seen it so many times where it comes to the end of the race, and we think a driver's had it, and then they get themselves a penalty, which completely changes things. We've seen it across so many leagues so far.
Did Hayes Bond just pit? 17. Yeah, he did. That must be another pit road violation.
Yep, probably pit exit.
We're at the point in the race where incidents could start building up, for guys that's had a few off tracks or maybe some contact or, and it's starting to build up a little bit. So as we're pretty much through the pit cycles now, our leaders, obviously the pro lead has changed. We've had a change up there between Faluna and Merriam. Gap right now is still actually Merriam is widening that gap. It's up to 5.5 seconds now, so he's put another full second on Faluna at this point. So that's it. That's quite impressive. Cody Bont is still your Pro-Am leader and running 9th overall at this point. Still a great showing for our Pro-Am leader. And he has, where is he at in relation to the next? JT Sawyer is the next Pro-Am guy.
Price in 11th.
Oh, is it Price? Did I miss one?
Yeah, it's Price in 11th. Sawyer's a part of AM, so Bont is a part of Pro-Am, so he's got...
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he's got Price just behind him. Sowens is leading the AM class, and he's also doing a great job up in 12th overall, and then Sawyer is next in line in the AM class down in 16th position, so... It is Bont. He's got a huge lead, though, currently to Price, and so far he's looking pretty on board right now for the win of the Pro-Am the Pro-Am race here today.
And then we got...
another spin.
Oh, who was that?
That's one of the BMW drivers, thankfully on the outside line, and it did not affect Bont
whatsoever. That was Dustin Dos Vase.
Yeah, Dos Vase losing it on the exit there of Audi, I believe, and thankfully, like I said, on the outside line, not the inside. So as you can see, he goes completely wide, and it does leave that whole inside. Oh, the boot is gone. I haven't seen that before. The back wing is there, but the boot's been taken away.
Oh, the boot. I love the way y'all say that.
Well, it's a boot for me. A trunk for you.
Trunk lid or deck lid, you might say, rear deck lid. Some people would say that here. Well, that's unfortunate. Dos Vase was having a really, really good run. I mean, let me jump back to
he's struggling there.
That's
he is struggling there. You can see it.
Gosh, that's unfortunate for him. He was having a pretty nice little run there.
We got more action in our virtual grandstand. Someone saying, let's go BWE, let's go Heath, Alex, John, and Preston. So a couple of people having a good amount of support there in the virtual grandstand. And also from the same person, Stitch CFL, saying, sorry, I cannot make this race. Heading to New Orleans for Mardi Gras with the family. So, Jim, you got someone who's celebrating alongside you.
I'm originally from New Orleans, so I grew up Mardi Gras, and I am. I just finished our third parade of the year down here in Galveston, Texas, and we've been enjoying our Mardi Gras, and it's been good so far. Well, I just closed my chat link accidentally.
That's what you get for doing Mardi Gras the night before.
I know. Well, I'm surviving.
I think Jim's having
good.
Jim is running on those fumes. You know, when a car gets towards the end of the race, oh, somebody else is off. It's another car on the inside line. That's one of the Porsches, unfortunately. Again, thankfully, off the racing line. We are getting a little bit more fortunate.
Was that?
Yeah, it might have.
No, wasn't Brent Cook.
I don't know. It was one of the Porsches. It was one of the lighter colored Porsches. I'm not too sure it was, but Cody Bonds has had 2 murder attempts on his name now. He's had 2 cars spin right next to him. And he's managed to keep it up there for the Triad Motorsports in 8th, and hopefully he can continue it. But Alan Purser down in 10th position. He's one of the pro drivers and currently fighting alongside Price, I believe. Just up in front of him. It's not for class position, but it is for overall position. And so Purser is going to be chasing down to get himself into further up into that top 10 spot.
Yeah, I like this.
Curtis Matthews in the virtual grandstand. That's
Curtis, yeah. I wonder where he's at today. Oh, he's the one heading for Mardi Gras? Oh, yeah. That dirty dog. Curtis?
Jim.
Yes.
I think you're getting confused.
Well, no, I never saw his thing. I went to read his chat and I accidentally closed the chat, so now I don't have his message showing up.
I see.
So I didn't know who it was, but
yes, yeah. Curtis Matthews is the one who's going to New Orleans, and that's why he can't join us yet tonight. He's got some other priorities, so but that's okay. He'll probably be here next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be here next week, but that kind of sucks because Coffee Cup has really been showing us some great racing.
Oh yeah, this league is fantastic. Oh my goodness, big hit! Oh my God, Quentin Price
that is huge.
Got destroyed.
My goodness, that might be one of the biggest incidents we've seen today. That was a complete toss-up there.
I believe that was Gel Sones. That was that.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if it was Jonathan Williams who was with him there. I saw there's another Porsche, but that's up in front. Jonathan Williams is behind him, I think.
Well, he spun on his own, though.
Oh, man, that is a massive damage on that Porsche. My goodness.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that was brutal. So let's look one more look at that from up here. I think he got on the curbing and lost it there. No, he just wiggled.
No, he lost it just before.
Yeah, wiggled and just tank slapped, basically, as they call it.
I think the contact would have been a lot less if he didn't get tagged by the other Porsche. I think he would have just bounced off the wall. But yeah, unfortunately, that shunt is enough to push that Porsche right into the wall and not being able to bounce back correctly. But I mean, Jim, we've been babbling on so much. It's 10 minutes left of racing left to go. Merriam is 5.5 seconds in the lead currently, and Faluna is much further behind currently, trying to fight his way around. This is the position for 18, Preston Hathaway. Currently chasing onto the backside of Risley, not for position, but he does want to get closer to Hanoff as he's now side by side, coming up the mountain straight onto the inside line. He will go. Nice. Can he hold it? Will there be contact? A little bit of bumper to bumper there between the two, but Hathaway does get ahead of Risley coming into the Audi corner, and he will hold it for the number 222.
That was a nice pass right there, actually.
Yeah, someone in the virtual grandstand saying that tire barrier didn't work. It didn't do its job. It was
no, it did not.
It was supposed to completely blunt the damage away. It didn't do that.
It rebounded him. Yeah, it rebounded him across the track.
Yeah, that tire barrier should have absorbed all the force and punted him into the wall. But unfortunately, it did the opposite, rebounded him in the middle of the track. Thankfully, it wasn't during active racing where there were other drivers right around him. That could have been catastrophic. But fortunately, he was in a bit of a no man's land and he went off quite gracefully, and then I believe that would have definitely been a return to pit lane. Even though he was right by the pit lane, I don't think he would have been able to nurse that car to the pits.
No, that was a pretty bad impact there. I'm pretty sure it was tore up a lot. Well, I believe is he out of the race too, or
I think we'll have a look quickly on the timings tower. That was Mr. Quinton Price. He is
Yeah.
currently 2 laps down. He could still be fixing the car though. It's going to
Okay.
take a long time to fix that car, and I don't think there's
Yeah.
any fast repairs in this. So that he's going to spend a good 8 minutes to 10 minutes repairing that car, possibly even more. Or it could even be at the point where it's too much to to repair. That is a thing in iRacing. If you damage your car to a certain
Yeah, it
extent,
is now. Yeah.
you can you can get the option to say that the car cannot be repaired and that you cannot do anything about it, unfortunately. So Quinton Price, don't know if we're going to see him out there again. There's only 8 minutes left, so not much he can do from where he sits currently in the pit lane.
Probert is all over the Faluna here. What is going on with Faluna?
Oh, never mind. He's up into second for Luna. As he's coming to the pit, I think he's running out of fuel. I don't know if Probert was the one who pitted early, was it not? Yeah, it wasn't Faluna who pitted earlier.
I don't think.
What's going on with Faluna?
Faluna, I'm not sure what lap he pitted on now, but I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe let's go and have a replay on the back straight there, on board with Faluna, and let's see if he was possibly losing power inside that car, because that would let us know that he's running out of fuel. Maybe he's made a bit of an error in that pit stop and he's forgotten to put fuel, or he's only put in 1 liter, or something that is virtually impossible to get towards the end. Maybe let's go on board with him here to see. So that's second, that's third. I don't know. He's got damage. He's definitely got damage. You can see there's damage on that wheel. So I don't know if Faluna's had contact somewhere, and it's just too unbearable to manage, and into the pit lane he will come.
But
and
that's
very
Bathurst
unfortunate
for you
for
right
Ryan
there.
Faluna. Yeah, that is definitely Bathurst. He's already out though. Up into he's still 6th position, not terrible. He's already out, so it was very quick. But I wonder if he's still carrying the damage that we saw there on the back straight.
I don't know. I'm trying to see anything that shows me an incident, but I don't see anything.
Faluna has completely lost out the lead of this. He has this is O'Brien. Oh, in the downhill after Skyline, just not finding traction in that Ford Mustang, and he actually almost veers into the path. A very, very bad spot, and I think that was Miriam.
There's your damage. That's what I was waiting on. That's why I stayed there. That's what happened. Faluna caught the front end of that Mustang.
Oh, so
man.
Unfortunate. So caught by a back marker. O'Brien just not knowing what to do to get that car turned around, and oh man, that is yeah.
You just don't turn around on the mountain, man. You just gotta tow. I mean,
you gotta stand still. Yep. Stand still and let everyone go past or tow it.
Well, it's so hard. I mean, and everybody says use your relative and all, but in the heat of the moment, it's tough, and I don't blame him. But it's just if you wreck on the mountain, sometimes you just gotta tow. That's just unfortunate. You just gotta get out of the way.
Yeah, that contact has unfortunately ruined Faluna's race, and he was obviously holding third with Probert, and or second actually, and obviously Probert now moving up into second, Cheney moving up into third, Dion is back up into fourth after his contact that he had. So Dion has got an opportunity to get back into the podium the final 5 minutes here, and Dion is looking very aggressive. He's missing mirrors. I don't see any mirrors on that Corvette, so I wonder if he's had a bit of bumper bashing against the walls there, and they've just been flung off somewhere. It's a bit of an odd look seeing a Corvette without mirrors.
It's probably an aerodynamic thing. He took them off intentionally. He knocked them off.
Told the pit crew, just pull a fist and just smack him off. I need the aero. And now he's tailing on the backside of Cheney. Yeah, he's really fast. Maybe that aero has done him good. But I wonder if that's caused steering damage from bumping into the walls there a bit, because those mirrors have
just see it
coming off on the right. Oh, that was very scary. I cannot lie.
Wow.
Oh, he's actually made contact there with Cheney. I think just on the backside there, giving him a bit of a bump.
Cheney kind of checked up there a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, a little bit possibly. 4 minutes left to go now.
I think Dion's going to get a run down the back straight here, though, on him.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so as well. It seemed like he had a little bit more pace against Cheney here. And on the back straight, he will go. That time is
Porsche
extending.
Pulling away again, though.
Porsche's pulling away. But I think there's also damage on Dion's car. I definitely think there's damage. I mean, what else could explain the mirrors just not being available? And he's losing time now to Cheney. He's got to make an overtake in somewhere where he's got the advantage, because the back straight is definitely not one of those
That was
places.
clearly not it, yeah. Oh,
Now
he's showing him his
continuing.
nose there
He's
into the turn one. I mean, into the last turn.
Yeah, just coming out of Murray now, and Michael Dion all over the backside trying to find a way. You can see he's looking on the inside of Hell's Corner there, just not enough to make it around. And that Porsche again now on the mountain straight is going to pull away. And you can see the Delta. He has gotten a better exit, but is it going to be enough? It is slowing down slightly, and now he's getting closer and closer. But there it's going. I think it's going up again. I'm not sure. He's definitely not got the advantage though, and I don't think he's got enough for the dive. He's going for it. He's staying on the inside, but not enough to get ahead of Cheney. And Cheney around the outside will keep that move. But one thing to mention, 2.5 minutes left of racing. So if he wants to make this move, he's got to do it soon. A little bit further behind, Dustin Dos Vase, down in 14th after that incident he's had on the backside of JT Sawyer, and Heath Olinger in 12th position, trying to make his way up in the big league boys BMW. But again, only 2 minutes left to go. He's got to make his moves now if he wants that overall gain.
That's not Ollinger there. That's a back marker.
That's a back marker.
Yeah,
I see.
Which he's getting out of the way and letting those two go through.
Right, so it's Dos Vase on the backside of Sawyer. And apologies, didn't see the Delta there. That's a 10.9 second gap to Olinger. So definitely no contention there. So Dustin Dos Vase, apologies. One position possibility yet to climb on the overall board, but obviously not for position in his class, as he's already doing incredibly well in terms of Sawyer. Apologies. Sawyer's doing incredibly well in second, so even if he loses this, he's still second in his class. There's the biggest movers, though. It is Preston Hathaway at the top, 15 positions gained overall, so he currently sits in 17th. John Gardner, 14, as well as John Schneebel, and then Cameron Risley, 13 and 12 for Jelly Sowens. And Jelly Sowens has done a great job because he's gotten himself into the top 9 with those positions gains. So
amateur.
He's really moved up.
Yeah, AM leader, running 9th overall. That's a great run. As we talked about that last week, obviously with at Le Mans, which is a different kind of circuit. To be honest with you, nothing against Curtis's run last week at Le Mans, but to put your car in the top 10 here as an AM at Bathurst, that's impressive, because this track is no joke.
No, definitely not. Le Mans is, I think it's got a little bit more breathing areas where you can, kind of, recuperate yourself. Unfortunately, the Mountain of Hell doesn't really give you that opportunity, as does Vase. And he's now alongside Sawyer, trying to look for that one position gain. But we have 20 seconds left of racing here. And that is all that's left on the clock. Merriam is coming down the mountain through Skyline. He comes now. And so it definitely is final lap. We're on that final white flag being waved. And Dos Vase has been able to get ahead through Chase and will get that one position gain.
Yeah, that's a good pass from Dustin there. Let's check in on Ryan as he's working his way down the mountain here.
There it comes out of elbow. And onto the back straight. Collins straight over here. The final time he has to go through. The Aeronaut Racing driver, who really didn't have a good qualifying, has made it up to himself. Started 6th, all the way up to 1st position in this 55-minute race. And he's managed to get past all the possible other contenders. And Ryan Merriam now grinding around the final chicane of Chase. And towards Murray's Corner he will go. This is looking like a very successful win for the number 1, who sits number 1 in the championship standings. Around Murray's Corner, he will come. Ryan Merriam, the championship leader, further extends that lead, and flashing lights across the board. It is another win for the champion, and Probert will get a redemption day from last week after that failed pit stop strategy. He comes across in 2nd. Cheney will get a podium, and I believe it might be his first podium of the season, as he comes across in the purple Porsche. Horvath will come across 4th.
Yeah, good run for Horvath, considering that bumpy, impact he had with the wall early in the race. Brian Faluna, man, I really do feel for him. He was having another heck of a run and got mixed up in a little incident that was no fault of his own there. Let's see, where is Cody Bont at? He is about to come across the line here and take the win. in the Pro-Am category, followed right behind Gel Sones is the Am. Oh, hang on
What
to it.
what happened to Dion? He was fighting for third. He finished seventh.
Oh,
So
did he have an
Dion
incident?
had something happen. Yeah, I think he might have had something happen towards the final parts of this race, as he was fighting with Chenif, and he was just behind him as well. And obviously, he's lost out majorly down to seventh, is what I'm noticing now. So I don't know if Dion had a final lap incident possibly down the mountain there with that damaged car. The rest of the drivers coming across. Tidwell, Dos Vase comes across 11th and 13th, and overall, Williams, Hanault, Hathaway will come across as well. It's been such a good
Oh,
day of
he
racing though here at
did.
Bathurst. I think, I think there we go. Jim has found it indeed, and here we have a replay of what happened to Mr. Dion, and a little bit of an odd one, but coming
Oh,
down. Oh, and there he's already backwards, so it's coming down the mountain towards Elbow, and he's actually
oh, better be
reversing it.
careful.
Yep, he's reversing
Oh,
it,
I
and he's
tell you
managed to
what,
reverse it.
that was pretty smart, actually.
Yeah, that was smart. Yeah, like you say, you cannot U-turn in the mountain, and he knows that rule, and he knows it
He
will
got
just cause
himself to a
chaos.
spot, yeah, but yeah, that's unfortunate for Michael. He was really fast today, but all right, let's see if we got everybody across the line. No, not quite. Let's see who else we got out there.
Yeah, still a couple more, I think, who need to come across. A couple of the still Rich. Oh, that is a limping
Oh my
Porsche.
gosh!
Oh, that is that's a
Oh,
huge incident he's had somewhere,
oh
and we're
my
going to be here for a
goodness!
while. This is still coming through Skyline only, and he's trying to get it home. There's also a sixth position. Gearing is still out on track, and obviously he's already come across the checkered flag. Rich is the only driver, and I don't know if he's going to make it,
Oh,
to be
here it
honest. He's
is.
coming down
Look,
Skyline now, and
no, that's
I
not
think he's
it.
going to have himself a glory
Is
lap.
it? Yeah, is he several laps down? He is, right?
He is, yeah. No, he's one lap down
Oh,
from
one.
Purse up in front, so... yeah, here we go. He's still got a very nice car. This is through Audi. Nice and clean. Not nice and clean on the exit.
Oh, big
Oh, that is a
hit.
huge... but that couldn't have been it.
Oh
Did he
no.
get
Oh,
tagged? Oh, okay, nice little nurse around for that other Porsche. There definitely should have been more. That the damage he sustained should have been some form of massive... Okay, there goes the rear wing. That was all he needed.
he
Maybe that
helped.
was it.
He helped it along there with the rear wing. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, maybe
so.
this was it. Let's look at the left side of that car when he turns, and okay, that was it. Yep, the car's already throwing it sideways. So
Oh
just
man.
that bit of incident coming up the mountain is enough
I
to
mean,
completely throw
that was
that
a pretty
Porsche off.
hard. That is great. I don't mean to be. I don't mean. Oh no, poor
Oh,
guy. I don't mean to
no,
be laughing at him, but you know. Oh my goodness.
he's trying, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
It's always a big thing to try. He's
Well,
trying to get it to the
they've
checkered
credited him
flag.
with his spot, so he can't improve anymore. So he's done. All right. Well, let's let's get some race results up. I tell you what. We'll go through them by class. Let's start off with your pro class.
Yeah, pro class, it's changed up quite a bit, more than we thought it would. And you'll see the standings up on your screen. It is indeed Ryan Merriam, who 11 laps led up in front, followed by Tim Probert in second, and Jeremy Cheney, who takes third. Damien Overton in fourth, followed by Brian Faluna with 11 incident points, and he did not have the best end to his race. Aaron Gearing completely quiet this race. He managed sixth position. Michael Dion, very unfortunate towards the end, down to seventh. Bradley Tidwell in eighth position, followed by Dustin Dos Vise in ninth, and Alan Purser in 10th. 11th, Adrian Rich, Brent Cook, Hayden Young will take 13th, followed by Bradley Lubbings in 14th. Alexander Claudio and Sebastian Fack down in 16th, and Stephen Smalley, the final driver in our pro class, in 17th position. Moving on to your pro AMS drivers, and they're finishing a little bit further back. It's Cody Bond who takes the win with Raul Pasta in second. Heath Olinger, who was 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the back behind him, 18 seconds behind, but third in his class. Jonathan Williams will finish fourth. Pernell Hanault in fifth position with Preston Hathaway a bit further down in sixth. Micah Dickerson, who seemed to have a little bit of a vendetta against the Audi corner here this race, is down in seventh. Bobby Lawalski in eighth, with Ken Cloden down in ninth, and Quinton Price, after that massive hit against the wall, is down in 10th position. Your final class for tonight, the AM class, who finishes on strong. Jel Sowens has a great race here this week, and JT Sawyer a bit further behind him in second. Cameron Risley will take third in the Lamborghini, followed by Mitchell Williams in fourth. Julian Rice in fifth position, and Scott Carlson in sixth with 10 incident points. John Gardner and John Schneebel, seventh and eighth position. Hayes Bogan down in 9th, with Matt Elmer down in 10th position. Also another driver who had a bit of an incident through Skyline. Chris Slane in 11th position, with Oberon down in 12th. Robert Sackett will finish in 13th, with David Stoops in 14th. And Landon Abbott, the final driver to join you tonight, as 15th position in his class. And that is officially the end of the racing here tonight. That is your result sheet. We'll go back. Hopefully, we see we see him back in the finish off the race. Indeed,
he made
is.
it.
He's done. He made it, and it's a great achievement nonetheless to make it towards the end. But we've got a lot of drivers who are ready for interviews here tonight.
Yeah,
I'm going to pull in the first, and then but Jim can take the second.
No, well, you do the interviews. I'll just find some highlights of each one of them. So just tell me who you're pulling in.
All right. Yeah, we're going to pull in our race leader here and our race winner. Again, I mean, I don't know how many times this is a win for again, but extending your championship further, Ryan Merriam. Welcome into the commentary box here at Motormouth Broadcasting. I mean, just talk us through that race. That was a pretty interesting finish there for you.
Hey guys, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Almost didn't make the race. I don't know what happened. I didn't sleep well, and my buddy Jeremy woke me up 15 minutes before the race. So props to him. Didn't really have any warm-up time, so I didn't get a good quali in. And then the goal was really just try to stay with the pack and fuel save as much as I possibly could. I've been practicing a lot of fuel saving for the endurance race coming up, so I had a pretty good system worked out, and I was able to get an extra lap there and pull the gap in the pits, so worked out.
Yeah, and how did the pit stop strategies work? Obviously, you decided to stay out with the overcut. I mean, what was going through your mind there to pull the overcut on Luna?
Yeah, well, I generally try to always run the car out as much as I possibly can, because that's, you're just saving time in the pits on the other side of how much fuel you have to put in. But I think I know why he went in there. I could see on my track map there was like a line of lap cars coming up, and I was really worried that I was going to catch them on the mountain. It looks like it just worked out for me. Looks like I was just far enough behind them where that didn't happen, and I was able to squeak in and not lose too much time there. So just worked out, and thankfully, I mean, some of the guys had tough races. Mike had lost it in front of me. He's quick. Brian had some unlucky traffic, so it was a lot of fun though for a while, just kind of following the train up the mountain.
And next week, you head to Road Atlanta for another 55-minute race. How are you feeling for that?
Well, unfortunately, I think I'm going to miss that one. Duty calls with work, so unless something changes, I will be missing that one, and I'm really hoping that's the only one I miss, because if you miss more than one in this championship, you're pretty much done with, even though I have a good lead. It won't matter. So good luck to the guys next week, and hopefully I'll catch the next one.
Incredible stuff. And I mean, is there anybody you'd like to thank or mention before you head out of the box?
Yeah, I mean, once again, Jeremy Cheney, he had a wicked good drive this weekend. P3 for him. He deserved it. He put a lot of practice in. So props to him, and I'm sure Mom's watching in the chat, so props to Mom. And as always, you guys for doing such a great broadcast. I'm excited to watch this one back.
Incredible stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We'll see you whenever you're back racing with us.
Yeah, hopefully I'll catch you guys in a couple of weeks. Thanks a lot.
Awesome stuff. That was Ryan Merriam, the winner of tonight's race. And I think we'll bring in next the winner of our Pro-Am, Mr. Cody Bond, who had a absolutely killer race here today. You are live on the commentary box here at Motormouth Broadcasting, and I mean, just talk us through that race. You were pacing in the pro grid there.
Yeah, I had a pretty good quali, and I just kind of ran my own race. I knew I wasn't going to keep up with Ryan. I figured he had a bad quali right in front of me, so I just raced my own race and let everyone else do their own thing, because I knew there's going to be crashes.
Yeah, and indeed there was crashes. You had a couple of near misses there, and I don't know if we missed a couple there, but there were a few moments where we thought Cody Bond would be falling off the grid. What was going through your mind on those incidents?
Honestly, it's once you get off the line in the mountain, it's hard to get back on a line, and so I had a few close calls there, and some of the slow traffic really hindered the gaps that I had created. But all in all, I can't really complain. It was a solid race and first one of the year. I've been denied all year so far, so I'm happy to finally get a win.
And next week we head to Road Atlanta for another 55-minute race. How are you feeling for that?
Never drove it.
Never driven it. Okay.
For real?
It's going to be a long week of practice.
You've
no.
really never driven Road Atlanta?
I would have to look at the map, man. I get about 3 days of race sim time, and I watch a video to learn the track and then go run it.
Wow.
That's what I did with this. I hardly touched this track before, a couple days ago.
Props to you, because this is a tough track to learn, and for your first time out to get you a win here, this is that's pretty impressive, because this is a tough place.
Oh yeah, it's I call it a white knuckle track, man. My hands hurt after driving all day.
Yeah, no, this is one of those tracks that test every level of skill. And I mean, a quick question I'll ask you as well is, I mean, we've seen the grid is yet again dominated by them, but I mean, how did the Porsche feel, especially here at Bathurst?
Oh, on the straights, it feels great. It really does. Once we start getting in the corners, it just seems like it wants to run long. At least that's my personal opinion. It also might be my setup, but I mean, I've drove nothing but the Porsche for 2 years, so I don't really have a counterpart to compare it against. So,
And before you head out of the commentary box, does anybody like to thank or mention?
yeah, Ryan, he's always given me some tips on how to run this Porsche because that's his baby. So he's helped a lot, try to increase my speed, and I've seen the jump. I was AM last year, now I'm competing with pros this year. So I just feel like he's been a big help, as much as he probably don't think it.
Incredible stuff. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you hopefully performing as well next week at Road Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
Incredible stuff. That was Cody Bunt, the leader of your Pro-Am.
First time at Bathurst, and he gets a class win. Wow.
Exactly. I'm going to bring in Mr. Gel Sowens, our AM leader.
Let's get a
and our
clarification
winner
on how to
his
pronounce
racing.
his name, too. That's
I think we'll start that. So we're saying Gel Sowens. Do you want to make sure that we're pronouncing that right for you?
It's Jelle.
It's Yella. Okay, so it's,
Yeah.
and then Sowens correct?
Soens.
Soens. Okay, so it's Yella
Yeah.
Soens. Okay,
There you
so
go.
we're
Yes.
very off. Thank you for the clarification. As I
No
think none
problem.
of the commentators here knew how to pronounce that one, but I mean, talk us through the race. I mean, a win in the AM class. I think you had an incredible time here at Mount Panorama.
Yeah, I was really stressed because today was the first time I drove Mount Panorama on iRacing.
Again.
Two of them. Are you kidding me? How do
Yeah,
you
but
do that?
I literally said at the start of this broadcast, if this is the first time you're tackling this track, like, good luck to you.
Yeah.
And to the both of the people I've said it to, you've both won in class. So what on earth are you guys putting in your coffee? Do you have some roasted records in there or
Must be
what?
some roasted record fuel in there for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I drove about 300 laps on ACC on Bathurst.
Okay, so you at least know the track, yeah.
Yeah, I know the track. But I fucked my quali. I went into the wall, so I needed to do the quali with a broken front splitter. But I was glad I got a 2.7 out of it and was P1. And I drove. Yeah, I drove maybe 5 minutes of the whole race without damage.
That's quite drastic. I mean, what was the pit stop strategy for you? I know the Porsche has been a bit of a favorite across the track, but I mean, with that mandatory pit stop coming into play, did that affect your race at all, or were you able to put it in
No,
quite
it
nicely?
didn't. It didn't affect me at all. I went for a undercut because I was losing time. I was stuck behind. I think it was Cook. So I thought I will go for the undercut and had damage, but that damage didn't slow me down as well. But then I drove out. The undercut worked. The first few laps I was behind another group of slower drivers than Cook. So that was a bit frustrating. But it all worked well. at the end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you've scored you scored the win, which is all that matters. But I mean, before you head out, is there anybody you'd like to thank or mention?
Uh, I would like to thank my team for helping me to get faster and better.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the box, Yella. We'll hopefully
No
see you next
problem.
week at Road Atlanta.
Yes, you will. Thank you.
Incredible stuff. That was Mr. Yella Soons. We've officially gotten the proper pronunciation, and I've got to say, he sounds like the actor of Nicky Lauda in the movie Rush. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Rush, but I mean, he literally sounds identical.
I love that
was
movie.
Like, are we talking to Nicky Lauda or Yella Soons? I mean, they drive both pretty much the same.
Yeah,
But one
I'm
more
a
interview for tonight.
massive James Hunt fan. So, yeah, who else we got left in there?
Absolutely. We've got Mr. Damijan Horvaton, our final interviewee for tonight. Damijan, you are live on the commentary box here at Motormouth Broadcasting. Talk us through that race, man. I think it was a bit of a complex one for most.
It was. It really was. I mean, I wasn't even I didn't plan to show up here this week because I had a rough night.
Me too.
It's Valentine's Day, and you gotta go out to party. And I came home.
Absolutely.
I came home at 8 a.m. I haven't slept since yesterday.
Okay. To clarify quickly, Damijan, what time did the race start for you in your local time?
Server opens 13 p.m.
Okay, so 1 o'clock. Okay, so I think just to not confuse the locals here of this being an American series, because this starts at 8 o'clock for them. If you arrived home at 8 o'clock, that would have been quite drastic.
Yeah.
So quick question: how pronounce your first name for us?
Damian.
Damian. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I haven't gotten any sleep since yesterday, 7 a.m. You know.
Man.
I was like, nah.
Well, I mean, I think you tested your mind's endurance, because the fact that you're on no sleep and you managed to finish Bathurst with your car in one piece, I think that's a pretty good indicator that all is well. But I mean, we head to Road Atlanta next week. Do you have any thoughts on that track?
I like it. I really like it. I'm not good at it. It doesn't like me, but I do like it. I'll just have to figure out the final chicane, and I should be good, because that's where I lose the time. But yeah, it for me, Road Atlanta is a little less aggressive, smaller version of Bathurst. It's hilly, it's blind, it wants to kill you, but it's such great fun. So for that one, I will be sober and I will get sleep before. So maybe I pull a P3 next time, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's hope for that one. And I mean, before you head out the box, is anybody you'd like to thank or mention?
The barista from yesterday. So probably the barista and my mom for packaging me some donuts.
Sure that you're.
In the morning.
I'm not sure that you can thank the bartender and your mother in the same sentence. I'm not sure that's.
Barista is a coffee maker, not a drink server.
Oh,
I don't know how you call it.
No, barista is correct.
Did you mean
barista is correct?
You meant barista for the coffee, or you were talking about the person serving you drinks?
The one that gives you beer.
Yeah, bartender.
Okay, the bartender.
I thought he meant. Yeah, that's what I thought he meant. I was just clarifying.
Yeah, okay.
He could have been thanking the barista, because a couple of cups of coffee would have helped him get through till now. So
that's what I'm saying. I thought he had a good mocha this morning that woke him up, but clearly not. You're still running on a good old jet fuel. But
that's right.
Thanks so much for the interview. Thanks so much for the interview, Damian, and we'll see you next week in Road Atlanta.
Thank you for having me. See you soon.
All right, buddy.
Absolutely. But that, I mean, that officially rounds. What a great guy to interview. So much personality, awesome. I got to say. But that's officially it. The racing is done and dusted at Mount Panorama. It proved its challenges, but our drivers here at the Old Guy Racing League Coffee Cup have been able to manage it, and they all came out on top. Jim, final thoughts here for tonight's racing?
I mean, to be honest,
today's racing. Sorry.
Great. Yeah. Well, great racing. To be honest, probably better actual racing than I thought it was going to be. Sometimes Bathurst can be tough, and it's just really a battle of attrition. But we saw some nice on-track passing, some quality passing, in fact. yeah, overall, super exciting and obviously ready to get to Road Atlanta next week. That's, in GT3 cars, that's obviously a perfect fit
Yeah.
there. So I can't wait for that.
Exactly as Jim says, we head to Road Atlanta next week for the next round number 8 of the Coffee Cup League. And as you can see on the bottom, a massive thank you again to the sponsors here. You can get a 20% off your roasted record order by using Sim20, as well as look into their digital race engineer. If you're tired of Crew Chief, have a look at that. But thank you so much for joining us here at round number 7 of Mount Panorama. My name has been Tristan Earps, joined in the commentary box and the production box by Jim Cunningham. But that's officially it. We'll see you next week. And once again, thank you so much for watching on Motormouth Broadcasting, where legends are made one corner at a time.